I'm back after what seems like a million years. Things have been pretty hectic. I've had a few really wild shifts. I actually had one that started at 8 p.m, finished at 3. So as you can see, they're really using us for as long as they have us. This time I just want to talk about being introverted in an extroverted world and fitting in, making friends, and how to be organized when you're not a very organized person. First of all, I'd like to put a little disclaimer. I'm not going to get precious about introverts. Introverts. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm an introvert. I need to sit down with tea and book and not be anyone else. And there's this kind of mentality that introverts are a bit more intellectual than extroverts, which is blatantly not true. I'm more introverted than I thought I was. It's getting to the point where I take my break and I just don't talk to anyone. I just have a half hour to just not talk at all, because it's a lot. It takes all sorts to make the world go round, and some people need time alone to recharge and get back to normal, and some people need to be around others and talk and have human interaction to feel good. And I'm sadly not one of the extroverts. I think life would be a lot easier if I were. I think Disney World is definitely a place for people who are outgoing and get energized from talking to people and interacting with people. But I'm getting better at pretending to be one of those people. That's what I will say. Yeah, I think if you do get onto the ICP program and you are quite a reclusive, introverted person, just make sure you take half an hour to an hour every day and do nothing. Just sit down, think. If you want to go to the introvert stereotype, get a cup of tea, read a book, because you'll feel so much better, because you are almost never alone. You have a roommate, you'll have a house with a lot of people, and usually your roommates are nice. I haven't heard any horror stories yet, so you will be fine. But if you are quite a sort of reclusive person, just take that hour, because you are going to need it. I work at Paris, as you can see from my lovely peasanty cotton shirt, and it's quite an out there job. I'm on the shop floor, having to have sword fights with little kids, and it's really cool, but it does take a lot out of you. So I would just say, if you are quite drained by human interaction, just take a few minutes out and just recharge, be by yourself, have a thought or whatever. I don't know. I actually had another video planned, and it was going to be much more kind of scathing about how everyone is super bubbly and super happy in America, because it's really different. The sort of the tone of people on average is much happier, much more talkative, and it's really startling to me, because I'm A, very quiet naturally anyway, and from London, B, and I thought it was just a bit of a cultural stereotype. English people definitely a bit more repressed, more reserved. I kind of lost my shit yesterday. A co-worker asked my trainer whether he could say something to me and make me talk, and I was like, I'm just quiet, I'm quiet, okay, I don't always talk. And I didn't realize that he didn't mean, oh, why are you so quiet? He meant, can she say something, because her voice and her accent is really pretty. And I was mortified. I felt so bad. I apologized, because I just lost it. I've had a lot of people oh my god, are you alright? Why are you so quiet? But that's just how I am when I'm in new places and I don't know anybody. I kind of just shut down a little bit and take it all in. If I don't have anything to say, I won't say it. That's my thing. It's just how I process new information and new people and new places. I'm just taking it in, absorbing it like a sponge. But you really do have to sort of get into the habit of asking questions about other people, talking, saying hi, smiling a lot, which is really hard if you have a resting face like a serial killer, which I do. It's my mouth curves downward, the entire thing is just so people always ask me, are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you so angry? I'm not angry. I'm probably just thinking about lunch. Got some pretzels in my bag. Thinking about that. It's nothing to do with you. It's absolutely nothing personal. But yeah, I've chilled up a lot now. I've had a few good shifts. I've had a few good days. I was really stressing about a lot of things, both here and at home. So yeah, you get a much more positive video. As for kind of the social side, that's been a bit more difficult, just because I'm pretty disorganized, as I said earlier. Yeah, you just have to get used to kind of allowing an hour to get somewhere and an hour to come back, because everything is so far apart. I did go on those party buses. Disney don't recommend them because apparently they're really dodgy and everyone does drugs. I got on one. It was the most basic, boring thing ever. It was so tame. I got on. It was like a sweaty taxi. Someone asked me how London girls dance and then like thrust his penis at me, and I was like, oh mate, you're alright. I will look away now. Even the nightclub was pretty basic. Everyone sort of stood around and like looked at each other. I think that's probably because it was a Thursday night. It was just very not what I was expecting. Though I did go to this really cool Mexican place and got free chips because someone liked my accent, so they paid for my food. I was like, this is what I expected America to be, not to have to eat, to pay to eat, because people like English people here. But yeah, that was the highlight of my night. Yeah, which tells you a lot about the party buses and how good they are. Like, obviously, be cautious, be careful. Don't do what I did and go by yourself like an idiot. You know, take a friend, take a whole group. Be careful, keep each other safe. You know this stuff. If you are, socialized as a girl, you know what it is to go out into the world by yourself and navigate public space as a woman. So just take the normal precautions and be safe. But yeah, that's it. It's not too bad at the moment. That's the summary of this video pretty much. I mean, it's definitely more expensive than they'll tell you. There's a lot of stuff you have to buy that you might not even use for the entire time, which is a bit of a piss take. I just had to buy white shoes for another costume, and I don't know if I'm going to be put on those shifts. And the $30 I could have spent in Sephora. Take a moment to honour that. I'm going there soon. I'm so excited. Sephora, my love, my life, my light. We'll be together soon. But yeah, it's a lot more expensive than they'll tell you, because out of your paycheck you have to buy food and costume things and still have fun. And also you need money for like the end of the trip, because I think for the last week you don't work. That's what they sort of forget to warn you. You think you'll be working up to August 8th if you're on like a 3rd of June program. You won't be. Yeah, just remember, keep a bit back each time you get your paycheck, just so you can have a bit of fun during your traveling. Obviously you don't want to be like walking around and only being able to eat crisps or something. Make sure you do keep a little bit back each time. You'll get really used to sleeping on buses. When I go in for like a super early morning shift, the highlight of my day is taking a seat on the left hand side, back seat of the bus, having a good old nap. The bus from Chatham Square to Magic Kingdom is like 40 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, time of day, driver, how long they stay at Vista, like drinking coffee and switching drivers. Yeah, it's a good time because it's out of the air conditioning, so you're not like freezing. It's really warm. It's really nice. Got the sunlight, you've got the engine. Don't have anyone talking to you. You can take your introvert hour on the bus basically, and just recharge and get yourself together for the day ahead, which is what I do, or I sleep. Best part of the day. I'm gonna confess and say that I don't get tired of people telling me how pretty my accent and my voice is. That's something I am never going to get bored of. I was selling like shoes to someone, I think it was, and this girl from America was like, oh my god, your voice. And she didn't hear a single word I said because I was trying to tell her the price. She's just like, oh my god, your accent. She's British. It's great. Though I would like to point out, like, there are different accents in London. This is not the only accent. There are lots of accents in London. There are lots in England, and then in different parts of the UK, like Wales and Scotland and Ireland. So yeah, just remember that, because I get a lot of questions. And you know, I actually insulted a Scottish man the other day and asked him when he was English. I feel like I need to like hand in my British passport. It was really bad. He wasn't too offended though, but if he was, he hid it well. I think I'd like to end this video on a note about keeping yourself safe in heat. I have already had my first heat stroke episode. I was working in Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it was a long one. It was the one that was 1 a.m. actually, and I only managed to make it to 9 o'clock, which is impressive given that I was working there from 12. I was not able to complete my shift because I was feeling so sick. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated. If you're someone who is a grazer rather than like, oh, let me have 3 square meals a day, make sure you've got a little something in your pocket or in your big bag that you take around, so you can like maybe go to the back room, have it, come back. Because if you're someone who needs to eat like every few hours, like a little thing, you'll really struggle if you're on your feet on the shop floor for hours on end. It does happen, and it's not easy, but you can do it. You just keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself fed, keep yourself safe, because above all, your health and your safety are the most important thing. Don't ever feel like you have to get through something because, you know, because of the hours or the money. Like, your shift leaders will be really nice, will let you off. They'll give you medicine at first, and then if it's not it's not working for you, they'll let you off. Like, don't ever feel like your health and safety isn't the first priority, because it is. That was a very serious note to end the video on. Something happy. I keep seeing Harry Potter fans in Disney World. It's the cutest thing. It's so great. I met someone today with a Death Eater tattoo actually. They tried to get on the new ride and he was like, oh my god, I showed them my tattoo and, you know, I wish they'd let me on. It was very cool. And I said a little boy, he was really proud to be Slytherin. I was like, yeah, go Snakes. Snakes the best. To me, Serpentes, which is pretentious douche for fear the snakes.